The ancient Near East, a cradle of civilization, was a land of vibrant cultures and powerful empires. From the fertile valleys of Mesopotamia to the Iranian plateau, mighty kingdoms rose and fell, leaving behind a legacy of war and conquest. Among these ancient powers, the kingdom of Elam stands out, a constant presence in the region for over 2,000 years. Located in what is today southwest Iran, Elam, with its fierce warriors and unique culture, played a pivotal role in shaping the destiny of its more powerful neighbors, Babylon and Assyria. Elam's history is a tapestry woven with threads of conflict and diplomacy, trade and cultural exchange. Its mountainous terrain bred hardy warriors, while its strategic location at the crossroads of trade routes brought it into contact with the riches and ideas of the wider world. This unique blend of isolation and connection fostered in Elam a distinct identity, one that would clash repeatedly with the ambitions of the Mesopotamian empires to the west. For centuries, Elam was a thorn in the side of Babylon and Assyria, a formidable rival that challenged their dominance and shaped the political landscape of the ancient Near East. From the epic clashes of armies to the intrigues of royal courts, the story of Elam's struggle against these Mesopotamian powers is a tale of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring legacy of a forgotten kingdom. Nestled in the southwestern corner of the Iranian plateau, surrounded by towering mountains and arid deserts, lay the kingdom of Elam. Unlike the flat riverine plains of Mesopotamia, Elam was a land of rugged beauty, its landscape a tapestry of soaring peaks, fertile valleys, and windswept deserts. This harsh yet beautiful environment shaped the character of its people, forging them into hardy warriors and skilled artisans. Elam's heartland was the fertile lowlands of Khuzestan, watered by the rivers Karun and Karkay. Here, amidst rolling hills and verdant plains, Elamite civilization flourished, its cities bustling with trade and its fields heavy with grain. To the east, the Zagros Mountains, a formidable natural barrier, protected Elam from invaders, their slopes dotted with small villages and fortified settlements. These mountains, while isolating Elam from the wider world, also provided it with a wealth of natural resources, including timber, metals, and precious stones. Elam's strategic location at the crossroads of trade routes connecting Mesopotamia with the Iranian plateau and beyond brought it both wealth and danger. Caravans laden with exotic goods, spices from the east, and textiles from the west traversed Elam's roads, filling its coffers with riches, but also attracting the envy of its more powerful neighbors. This unique position as a bridge between East and West infused Elamite culture with a blend of influences visible in its art, architecture, and religious practices. Despite its isolation, Elam was not a stranger to the world beyond its borders. Its kings maintained diplomatic relations with their counterparts in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley, exchanging gifts, princesses, and at times bitter words. These interactions, both peaceful and hostile, shaped Elam's destiny, drawing it into the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized the ancient Near East. The relationship between Elam and Babylon was one of both cooperation and conflict. For centuries, these two ancient powers engaged in a delicate dance of diplomacy and warfare, their fortunes intertwined in a complex web of alliances and betrayals. At times they were bitter enemies, their armies clashing on the battlefield for control of strategic territories and access to vital resources. At other times they were wary allies, united against common foes or bound by ties of trade and diplomacy. One of the most dramatic episodes in Elamite-Babylonian relations occurred in the 12th century BCE, when the Elamite king Shutruk-Nakhunta launched a devastating raid on Babylon. Shutruk-Nakhunta, a shrewd and ambitious ruler, saw an opportunity to exploit the internal weakness of the Babylonian Empire and expand Elam's power and prestige. His armies swept across the Mesopotamian plain, capturing city after city until they reached the gates of Babylon itself. The fall of Babylon to the Elamites sent shockwaves through the ancient world. It was a symbolic victory, a testament to Elamite military might, and a humiliation for the once mighty Babylonian Empire. Among the spoils of war, Shutruk-Nakhunta carried off to Elam the statue of Marduk, Babylon's patron deity. The capture of Marduk's statue was a significant coup for the Elamites, It not only represented their victory over Babylon, but also had religious and symbolic implications. Section 4. The Fall of Babylon, a turning point in history. The sack of Babylon by Shutruk-Nukkunta marked a turning point in the history of the ancient Near East. It signaled the decline of Babylonian power and the emergence of Elam as a major force in the region. The capture of Marduk's statue, a potent symbol of Babylonian kingship and religious authority, sent ripples of shock and awe through the ancient world. It was a stark reminder that even the mightiest of empires were vulnerable to the ambitions of their neighbors. The loss of Marduk's statue had profound consequences for Babylon. The statue was not merely a religious icon, it was believed to embody the god himself and was central to Babylonian rituals and ceremonies. Its absence left a void in the religious and political life of the city, undermining the legitimacy of its rulers and shaking the faith of its people. For Elam, the victory over Babylon was a moment of unprecedented glory. Shutruk-Nukkunta's raid brought immense wealth and prestige to his kingdom, cementing his reputation as one of Elam's greatest rulers. The captured treasures of Babylon, including the statue of Marduk, were displayed proudly in Elamite temples and palaces, tangible symbols of Elam's triumph over its rival. However, the Elamite dominance over Babylon was to be short-lived. The political landscape of the ancient Near East was constantly shifting, and new powers were rising to challenge the old order. Within a few centuries, a new threat emerged from the north. The Assyrians, a fierce and ambitious people who would soon cast a long shadow over Elam and the entire region. The stele victory of Naram-Sin of Akkad, an earlier Mesopotamian ruler who also claimed victory over Elam, highlights the long history of conflict in the region.